wasn't painful. It didn't hurt me, and I enjoyed it. I mean, my body's natural response was to enjoy it, and that's what I learned. So
yeah, a lot of side effects of early promiscuity or abuse ends in early promiscuity. Is what I'm trying to say. It's kind of a side effect of early exposure, whether it's bad or good.
Yes.
Hang on, Jennifer. We have to take a break really quick. I'm going to put you on pause for just a second, and I know it's really difficult for you to talk about, but I give you a lot of credit, and this is really going to help a lot of people. It's time for a break, and we'll be right back with Moments of Clarity in just a moment.
You're listening to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Werner. We welcome your input at 866-826-1340. Tiffany will be right back after this.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Did you know that your physical health plays a big role in your mental health? Healthy minds and healthy bodies go hand in hand. The problem for many is finding the time and getting the results they want. X-Force Body is perfect for people with busy schedules, with a mission to inspire you to become leaner, stronger, and in the process healthier. X-Force Body coaches will encourage, motivate, and inspire you through every workout, helping you achieve the results you desire. Learn more about X-Force Body at the grand opening of their new location in South Tampa on May 8th from 5 to 7 p.m. For more information, visit www.xforcebody.com.
Hi, this is Tiffany Werner, your host of Moments of Clarity. Living with a mental health disorder is not easy. If you or someone you know are struggling with this, please know it's so important to seek treatment, and I'm here to help. Please visit the website at momentsofclaritywithtiffany.com to view blog posts and resources on this site to help educate and inspire you to take action, because there's no shame in seeking help for mental health. While you're there, please take a few seconds to sign up for my email list. You'll get some extremely valuable educational and entertaining content that can be sent right to your inbox each week. Plus, you'll also get instant and free access to my guide on managing your anxiety. You can also follow me on Twitter at MOC with Tiffany and at Facebook at Tiffany Werner. And once again, the website is momentsofclaritywithtiffany.com. Thank you so much for your support and for listening to your show, because change can only come when we stand together as one.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
We are back to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Werner. To join in the discussion, call 866-826-1340. Now, here's Tiffany Werner.
Hi, thanks for waiting. This is Moments of Clarity. My name is Tiffany Werner. I'm a licensed mental health counselor, and I'm your host. And today we have a very courageous mental health advocate and young lady who's talking about her survival in her life through not only going through beauty pageants and molestation from neighbors and incestual relationships with family members and not only the side effects but triggers and how she's overcome them. And I want to welcome back to Moments of Clarity, Jennifer Knighton. So Jennifer,
hello.
Hi.
Mm-hmm.
So where we left off, you were saying that kind of what, to just recap, that your stepfather was molesting you, and the one thing that kind of saved you guys from that continuance was that he remarried, and his new wife didn't want him to have any contact with your family anymore. So,
yes. So he ended up remarrying, and he wasn't allowed to have any contact with us. But it still it was very heartbreaking, because you have a child that has a relationship with a male figure, and this is the only relationship that she knows.
Right.
So, regardless of whether or not, I mean, the abuse was not okay, but in a child's mind, a child doesn't see that. The only thing that the child sees is this person that I've known as a father, he abandoned me, and what do I do now?
Right.
So I'm all alone. I was abandoned, and so so not long after that, like I said, I started getting into drugs and alcohol, and just became really defiant towards my mother. And I had a lot of hate towards her. I just didn't know why.
You probably were upset that she wasn't doing anything to protect you.
Right.
And you kind of, for lack of better words, took one for the team. You were saying you didn't want to ruin her marriage, and you were just wanting a positive father figure, and everyone she kind of put in your way or in your life was hurting you.
Yeah, and I didn't know that until I was older, but, you know, I had so much anger towards her, and it got to the point where, you know, I didn't care about life anymore. You have a 12-year-old, the police were at our house probably every other week. I just became really defiant. I had no respect for authority. I didn't care about school. I started seeking attention from older men, and sadly, by the time I was 13 years old, you know, I had already had boyfriends that were in their 20s, and knowingly, I mean, they knew that I was 13 years old. Which, in my mind, it was like, well, this is cool. I have an older guy that's driving,
college boyfriend or something,
money and drugs and alcohol, and I started hanging out with older kids, and you know, I made sure to find children that were troubled and that had parents that didn't care what they did. So I fed off of their parents, and you know, I remember calling my mom from school and, you know, hey, I'm going to go to such and such this person's house, and you know, my mom was so overprotective, but I would have the parents tell her that, you know, I was going to stay at their house, and I would end up going with these guys and getting drunk and getting high, and I didn't care, which is unfortunate because I was only 12 and 13 years old.
And you didn't have any supervision, it sounds like, too. But
so my mom worked a lot, and you know, she did the best of her ability to take care of us, and I think by that time she advocated for me a lot. She had me arrested. She had me thrown in a 60-day program, and you know, she did the best of her ability, but it was so much bigger than her.
Mm-hmm.
And because of my hate and my anger towards her, it just kind of hindered things more. So anything that she was trying to do for me, I was going to go against.
Right, of course. Because you felt like maybe she was trying to stop you from just being you, but you were rebelling, and they weren't getting to the root of the problem, just focusing on the reaction that you were having. And not asking why. I guess that's a lot of times people do that. They just focus on the behavioral aspect and not the root of why the behaviors are happening. I want to welcome callers to call in 866-826-1340. 866-826-1340 if you want to add or give feedback. But go on.
Mm-hmm.
So she put you in a program.
I'm sorry?
She did put you in a program and
She did put me in a program, and I came back home, and by the time I was 14, I had got into a relationship with a 20-something-year-old male, and that's actually my 16-year-old daughter's father. I was with him for 6 years because I didn't have the positive male figures or any positive male role models in my life, and I didn't know anything other than abuse. I turned to this abusive relationship. He used to beat me, and he would throw me on the floor and drag me by my hair and tell me that I was worthless and that nobody loved me and that I was a whore and I was a piece of crap. And I believe those things, you know, because I didn't know any different. That
no other man in your life treated you any better. So
Right.
Nothing to compare it to.
So I stayed in that relationship, and he made me drop out of school, and he was very
So you were how
very
old?
dominant.
And he was 28, you said?
He was in his early 20s, and I was 14. And we stayed together for 6 years. I lied about his age, and by the time I was 16, I got pregnant. So it was kind of, what do you do now? It's you know.
You feel stuck.
Yeah. So when I was with him, I didn't tell, it became one secret after another. Throughout the abuse, I never told anybody. I didn't tell my mom. It was normal for me. And I want to say I was 15 when I dropped out of high school. And my only goal in life was to take care of this man and to take care of the child that I was about to have. And that's how I lived. I lived the next 6 years of my life in abuse and getting beatings. If I looked the wrong way, if I looked at any other men, he would take me home and just beat me. And I remember one time going to ask for assistance at some shelter place, and I had a black eye, and I remember the lady telling me, you don't have to live like this, or you don't have to do this. And I said, oh no, I just fell. I don't know what you're talking about. And that's pretty much how I lived. And
so you have a 16-year-old daughter with this guy. Does he have any parental rights? Or does he see her?
He does not. He's actually he's in Mexico. He has been he's kind of been in and out of her life, but yeah, we don't have contact.
It's probably for the best, right? Unless he gets help. He needs help. So I can tell you that.
Yeah. But his family's been very supportive, and they've been an active part in her life. So I am grateful for that. But that continued, and I just went from one relationship to another, and I endured a lot of abuse. After I got pregnant with my daughter, it actually triggered an eating disorder, and I struggled with bulimia I had full-blown bulimia for over 13 years, and that became another secret. But it was an outlet for me to try and control things because I never had any control in my life.
That's how eating disorders start. It's based off of need for control. Like, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't force it to drink. A lot of eating disorders are a need for control, and they tend to spawn off of, not all the time, but a lot of after sexual abuse or abuse of some sort. And it seems like you were exposed to all of the above. So
it went from morning sickness in my pregnancy to morning sickness that never went away. And we're talking 16 years ago. So the education, even, in medical doctors and all of that, there was just a really big gap in knowledge. And I remember going to the doctors, and I said, I'm throwing up every day, like everything that I eat. I got to the point I was binging and purging 10 to 15 times a day. And when I went to the doctor, he told me, well, just stop. And
yeah, Jennifer, just stop.
So
just cut it
I
out.
was like, okay. So I never told another person. I didn't tell anybody again for 13 years, and it was horrible. I'm this lonely little girl, just stuck, and
it sounds like you really slipped through the cracks on a lot of, everyone just kind of failed you on so many levels. I feel so bad hearing this and knowing that so many things could have been done throughout your whole life that people just failed you on so many levels.
Yeah, and nobody knew. Like, nobody knew